Aaron, but I will forget. So if you're at home sick, say thank you. Let me see, blah, 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 blah. Is that all right? So the problem we're doing is 51, which is a part of this whole thing. So I really need to make sure you guys start it off right, or else you're going to be dead at the end of it. Is that cool?
Yeah, but you said 0.04 when.
No. I never said 0.04.
Okay.
What's the probability of C again?
0.48.
0.48. Why? Because 48% of these people do this. So what's the probability I pick somebody who does that? 0.48. Take ass. What's probably I pick a Latino? 0.376, right? Latino Californian, so 0.376. And what's the probability I pick a Californian who believes this, given that they're Latino? Now here's a very interesting way. Look at this last percentage they give me. Among Latino California registered voters, 55% do that business. So what is it that I know about the person in that statement? What do I know about them? They are definitely Latino. Given they're Latino, what's the probability they do this? 0.55. Do you see that? Now I'm doing this problem because there's another problem just like this, different setup, but it's the same idea. They tell you like 4 things in that other problem. I think I cited it. We'll see. So the first 3 are just straight from what they tell you. No work to be done. And then this is just in words, who cares? Let's see, blah, blah, blah. So look at 51. Well, if we have to know 48 first, let me unfreeze this. There we go. This is why I didn't want to do it with the book go off. I can't go on. Let's see. I'm going to have to do this. Everybody just deal with it. So look at this one. How do I get the probability of L and C? What is the formula for the probability of L and C? Did they give you any probability formulas with L's or C's in them? That doesn't matter. L and C, A and B, who cares? So what's the formula for the probability of L and C? Yeah, you could do P of C times P of. You already got C. Now I need the other guy. So look, right here, what happened in the first spot? What happened? C. And I want also L. So and L, given that C just happened. Does that even really matter as far as memorization? No, because you're going to have it sitting. So does everybody see how a formula is a template? Yes? What's A? L. What's B? C. Okay. You could also, it would be probability of L times probability of C given L. Thank the gods. Could I do this first one? Do I have everything? Do I know P of C? Yes. Do I know P of L given C? Shit. But thankfully, this is also true for this. Remember, there's 2 ways to do the end. One could be first, or the other one could be first. It's sort of like if I said, you and you come with me. Do I care if you go first or you go first? No. So at the end, it gives a shit which one goes first. But you do, because I know this one. I didn't know that one. So how do I get the probability of L and C? I take the probability of L times the probability of C given L. Bam. So that's what I was trying to talk about yesterday was, if I give you information, you want to identify in symbols what that information is. Then, when I ask you a question that doesn't involve something you already know, you write the formula for it, and you know where to put stuff. So now 51, you should be able to do no problem. What's the formula for probability of L or C? What's OR basically mean? Addition. So it's probability of L or C, probability of L, plus probability of C, minus L and C, which you just would have calculated right now. There's a reason why they asked it in the order they did. Okay, maybe. Yes?
But when I put that into my calculator, it And I checked with the solution manual, it wasn't the same number, like it was saying. it was
So the
0.6.
solution manual does have typos, which is true for even the books that you spend $180 for, right? So don't, but I also love that there's typos, because then, some of you guys are not very, don't put a lot of work into your cheating sometimes. I'm not saying everybody's cheating. I am saying a few of you guys are. But be careful. There are typos, and then that makes it really easy for me to tell. Give me some challenge if you're going to cheat. But I don't think that was one place where there was a typo, because I know where those are. So it really depends on what you got as the answer here.
Okay,
Okay.
so I was missing the 8 from the 0.4, from the.
Oh, you just put 0.4.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
That'll throw everything off.
Thanks.
All right. Very good. I like it. I like to helping each other out. Aw. Anything else from homework stuff? Yes.
So the quiz tomorrow is just on chapter 3, right?
Just chapter 3. It's going to be very similar to that practice quiz I gave. It will not be the same. Yes.
97.
Oh yeah, good. Stay. Okay. Don't worry. Let's see. Oh, so again, this is very similar to one we just did. What do they tell me here? Blah, 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 blah. 43% of people have type O blood. So what can I put right there in Mathish? P of O equals 0.43. 15% of people have Rh negative factor. Neat. So what can I put right there? P of Rh negative, if you want to be careful, right? Because I don't know if there's going to be more R shit, right? P of Rh negative equals 0.15. So what do we got so far? We got P of O is 0.43. P of Rh negative is, I forgot, 0.15. And what's the last thing going to be? Yeah, O or Rh negative. So probability of O or Rh negative equals 0.52. Now you can answer any question they throw at you. What's the probability of O and Rh negative? Don't you have everything you need for it, right? Now here's the neat one. All right. You do have everything you need for it. I don't know if you guys can see that you do. What's the formula for AND? It involves givens, correct? Do I have any information about givens? Oh shit, I better let that go. Does AND show up in a different formula, maybe for something that I know something about? Doesn't AND show up in the OR formula? And what's the probability of this or that? Isn't it this plus that minus and? Oh, a little bit of algebra, say we're asked, right? Oh no, Jeff. A little bit of algebra, say if you're right. So if you set up the OR equation, plug in all the values you know, you can even put a little x in for the and since you don't know it and solve for x. Is that cool? No? You guys all right? So the whole thing is don't skip a bunch of information and then start trying to do stuff. You got to identify what it is they told you, and then you can see how do these things work together to give me what they're asking me. Now part B is going to be easy as all shit. If the first one is probability that O and that, well, the second one is probability does not have this and that. So how are they going to relate? Whatever A is, B is going to be. How's B relate to A? It is the. No, I'm not going to do sure. How does B relate to A? They are exact opposites. There we go, sweet. So if A's answer was 0.7, What's B's answer gonna be? 0.3. The rest, the opposite, right? So once you get A done, B is gonna be nice, because it just says not that, which is the opposite of that. And how do you get the opposite probability? 1 minus. Maybe. I love you guys. I love all the different facial expressions I can see right now. But the most important thing to realize right now, there's more details after what I'm about to say, but it's always identify what they tell you. Give yourself in Mathish a quick summary of what they tell you. Write formulas for what they ask you, and then see where things go. Okay. Is that all right, you guys? Any follow-up questions? You guys? I know there are, you just aren't asking them. So anything else from, yes?
So what would be the answer for A?
Oh, I'm not gonna do that for you.
Like,
Sure.
can you explain how to like set up the and?
Oh,
Yeah.
so what did I say? The AND formula involves a given. So I gotta let that go, because I don't have any information about the given. Do you see that? And this is the thought process you use. But does AND show up in another formula? Yes, it shows up in the OR formula, right? So probability of O or RH negative equals, what's the formula? How does OR work? It'd be the probability of O plus RH, probability of RH negative, minus, you do it, and you gotta subtract any that are both, because you would have counted them twice. You just copy from your formula sheet though, right? Minus the probability of O and RH negative. Do you know this? Yes, do you know this? Yes, do you know this? Yes. Do you know this? No, that's what they're asking you for. Can you solve for it? Should you? Just put an X here if you want to. That'll actually, a little tear of joy will come out. Oh, they're using real algebra, oh my God. But that's reminding you that anytime you have a formula, that's the purpose. That's one big thing about algebra is it's telling you how to handle any formula no matter what parts you know and what parts you don't know. Yes?
When you say put an X, you mean like multiplying?
No. What does X mean?
Or solve for it?
X is the variable, right? Yeah. We left the X meaning multiply way behind. So you don't have to. You don't have to. You just put that value in, put that value in, put that value in, solve for this. But there's a lot of letters here, so it might be easier just to put an X there, and then your algebra brain hopefully would kick in and just start solving that equation. Right? Hopefully somewhere in there you still got some algebra brain going on. Okay, maybe. Yes?
So if you put an X in there, would it be PO, PX, and then P?
No. What is it they're asking me for? What am I trying to solve for? What's the question asking me? What's the probability of O and RH negative? So do you know what this thing is? No. So in algebra, what do you put in there for it? X. If you want to. You don't have to. Maybe a little. So what goes here? What's this?
0.52.
0.52. What's this?
0.42.
I took it away, but 0.43. What's this?
0.15.
0.15, yeah. Minus, I don't know. Solve for that. That's what algebra does for us, right? Remember when they had that problem the first day and it said 3 tests and you don't know the third test, so we made the third test X and then we could do shit with it? That's exactly what we're doing here. Now I can do shit with it because I put an X where I don't know, and I know everything else, so I can figure out what X is. Look at that, algebra has a purpose. Oh my God. Okay, maybe. Now, on one level I understand some of this stuff is new, but the idea of the formulas existing and how to use formulas is old. If you can identify what the values are and where they go, you know how to solve equations. Okay, I like it, maybe. Anything else from homework stuff? Yes? Is that the one that's gonna lead me? Beautiful, all right, sweet. I was waiting for somebody to ask me this question so I could segue into the last thing we didn't talk about yet. All right, somebody remind me, what does it mean if W and X are independent events?
They don't affect.
What does that mean?
They don't affect each other. Like,
True. What does it mean mathematically?
Not equal?
they don't give a shit.
I mean, what does it mean formulaically? Is that?
P of A given B.
No. I don't have any A's and B's.
W given X equals P of W.
Yes. If X happens, given that X happens, does W give a shit? Nope. Or, what's P of X given W? Is everybody okay with I'm using W and X? I could have used F and J. I could have used smiley face and box. Right? If smiley face and box are independent, then probably smiley face equals probably smiley face given box. Those symbols don't matter. In fact, have you guys noticed that these uppercase letters in statistics are variables that stand for sentences? That's different. Right? So this could W could be the number of watermelons we sell or something. So like in 42, there's something new. Mutually exclusive. We haven't talked about that yet. So if a problem, like look at number 41 real quick. J and K are independent events. The mistake people make is they don't even read that. You just see words and you wait until you see numbers. And then you start trying to do something. Holy shit. If you skip the first part, you've skipped everything. J and K are independent, which means what? You can write something like that down, but instead of W's and X's, J's and K's. And then the question will be remarkably easy. So, now we got to figure out, what does this mutually exclusive mean? Mutually exclusive. So, what's exclusive mean? What comes to mind when I say exclusive? Hmm?
Like
New, no, not necessarily new.
Right.
Exclusive.
It can be either one or the other, but not both.
True, okay, so now you can more to, but in general, if I think exclusive, I normally in my head think I ain't getting in without a tie, or I gotta be invited, or I gotta know the right people, right? They'll look at me and go, no, you don't belong here, right? That's exclusive, and I'm like, if you don't want me, I don't want you, but. So mutually exclusive is, not only do you not want anything to do with me, I don't want anything to do with you. We exclude each other. So if two things, if B and M are mutually exclusive, what that means is the probability of both of them happening at the same time is 0. Does that make sense? If you cannot be in one and the other. So here's my gang and we exclude your gang. You can't have somebody be in both. Come on guys, what's wrong with that? Try to wear both bandana colors. It ain't gonna work. So when you see this, U and V are mutually exclusive. What can you automatically write down?
0.
What about 0? The probability of U and V is 0. So you know part A just because of the very first sentence. Then you know this guy's formula, which involves this. And you know this guy's formula, which involves this. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you skip that first sentence, you're screwed. Because that first sentence tells you everything you've got to know. Now I know we didn't talk about mutually exclusive until just now. But you guys can read the book too. But now you know what to put down when you see that. That means the probability of one and the other is 0. I used to use dog and cat. This is a while back now, but did anybody know about the cartoon?
Cat dog?
Cat dog, yeah. So somebody brought that up, I'm like, shit. Right, so now I use like newts and ice cream, right? You can't be, everybody know a newt? I got better. No. So newts and ice cream. Can you be a newt and ice cream at the same time? My mom said you can be any show. You can't, right? You with me? A little bit? That's mutually exclusive. Something can't be both. Yeah, I like it. You would, Jeff. All right. Is that all right? So that pretty much rounds out chapter 3. Did anybody try out that practice quiz yet? I know a few of you guys did. It's really up to you. You don't have to do it. If you do the homework, you should be all right. We're not going to do this right now. I'm going to give you the answer key, and then I'm going to see if anybody has questions. And then we're going to keep going, because we are all in sync. So what you're going to have to do for me, yes?
I have a picture for the next week.
Number 2.
Yeah.
What's up?
Well, I noticed that it has 2 T's and then in my question it only has 1 T.
I'm sorry?
For
For part A's got, I want to get a Twix and then a Twix and then a Snickers. I like it, right? Twix and then a Twix and then a Snickers. And then the next one is Butterfinger and then a Twix and then a Butterfinger. Is that cool?
So you'll repeat the fraction.
Yes, because on the first one with replacement, so nothing's gonna change, the numbers aren't gonna change throughout. So well, let's probably get a Twix. 7 out of 13, right? Put that back in. Let's probably get a Twix on the next one. Put that back in. Let's probably get a Snickers now. So it'll be 7 out of 13 times, good, because it's and, right? I want to get this and this and this. So you're going to put 3 spots down and then fill them in. Now what's going to change down here? Yeah, the first one's still 7 out of 13, but then I eat that one. So now how many candy bars are there? 12. And how many Twix are there? 6 Twix. So it'll be 7 out of 13 times 6 out of 12. So now I eat that. Now there's 1 less candy bar, 11 on the bottom. But how many Snickers are there? Still 5. So 5 out of 11 on that last one. So each of the denominators on these are going to be 13, 12, 11, because each step I'm losing a candy bar. Why did this one not change? Because I was putting them back in. I don't want a Twix, damn it. I don't want a Twix, damn it. Snickers. Okay, that's why it's not. Yes?
So for B, since there's only 1 Butterfinger, so
I love it. Here's fine. What's going to happen here?
it's gonna be 0.
0. There's no way I could get a Butterfinger, eat it, and then get another Butterfinger on the last thing. That would be freaky. Yes?
So on the last B, would I change the denominator to 11 or no?
Oh, here? Yeah. Yes. If you want to show me the work, you could actually just say it's impossible because you only have 1 Butterfinger. You could actually just say that. Now I'd like what's here. But if you do the work, it's beautiful, right? The Butterfinger would be 1 out of 13, 7 out of 12, 0 out of 11. Yep. Kick ass. Okay, so let me give you the answer key. Let's see. Do this favor for me. The answer key to save paper, I put a very strange looking thing on the back, so don't worry about this side yet. The one with the pyramid looking dude, don't worry about that side yet. This side is the answer key for that practice quiz. Everybody show up. Wow. So I'll let you look that over real quick. Oh! Let's go ahead and formalize a formula sheet that you can use for tomorrow. It's going to be really short and sweet. And if you want to just keep adding formulas to a formula sheet and just keep bringing that in, you can. If you want a different sheet for every new formula sheet and bring them all in with you, that's beautiful. You can have this many formula sheets with you. You know, as long as none of them have something I said you can't have on them. So this is only going to have 3 things. So remember the and has 2 ways to write it because it doesn't care who goes first. And really, on this sheet, for example, where's the only place you really have to use the formulas on this practice quiz? Which problem is the only one you have to use the formulas for? Number 4. That's the only one. Because here I only gave you values for things. I didn't give you a situation to count. Right? Is that cool? So that feels really weird. I know it does. But formulas almost always have to make things seem a little worse because they have to cover every situation possible. So in number 1, that is an easy situation. I don't need their help. I just count everything I need. Would the formulas work still? Of course they would. But don't do that. You have to be a lot more careful and you have to make sure you're doing each part right. Any questions from this practice quiz before we get into chapter 4 fully? We sort of stepped into it a little bit last time. Okay. So let's get back into chapter 4. We sort of did some of it, section 4.1 already. Go ahead. Anybody's got those, right?
I don't have.
What's up?
I don't have.
Which
I don't have.
Oh, I didn't give a handout for that.
Oh.
We just barely got into it a little bit. So, just to remind you guys what we did at the end of class last time. Yeah. Let's see what I got. I'm gonna try to be careful about on that last thing I did. Yeah, how do you write that in symbols? These have to add up to be 1, and so what did I just add up? Sum of P of X must be 1. I like it. The sum of all the probabilities must be 1. What else has got to be true for probability distribution? I said this last time, and it might have been real quick. It's really, really straightforward. What's the lowest the probability can be? 0. And what's the highest? Come on, I like it. So maybe your coach can tell you to give 110%, and that's a mental thing. But there can't be a probability of rain of 110%. That's freaking me out. It rained so much, it's gonna rain in the next universe. I don't know what that is. So how would I figure out this guy's mean? What's another name for the mean? No, even better than that, and one we just learned yesterday. Expected value, which is really nice because the formula for the mean is EXP, basically. Think of a big P. So if you missed yesterday, you might want to watch that, or maybe not. I kind of try to show you mathematically how that formula comes from the same formula we used before to figure out the average. It's just if I'm giving it, if I'm given data in a different format, I want to see is there a quicker way to get the average. Yes, kick ass. So how do I do what that wants me to do? And again, to remind you guys, anytime I have a formula with an E in it, cover it, and then you see what column you need. I need to add up those. Well, I got to get those first. So how do I make that column? You guys aren't going to play with me at all. I just multiply those together, right? Multiply across, add down. So if you want to do L1, L2, that's great. L3 would be L1 times L2, right? All day long.
So just add that one up and get the answer. And add L2 up.
Well, L2 is going to add to be 1.
Okay.
This guy, I don't even care what he adds up to be.
Okay.
But if I do this and then add those up, I get the mean. And yesterday we actually showed that formula. We gave an example where that formula would come from.
So you would divide it by L3? Or,
No. What's going to be in L3? The XP of x's, right?
right.
And what's the mean say? How do I get the mean? I add up the XP of x's. So once I get these numbers, I just have to add them up.